Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, I have completed Meghan and Harry's regrets. And so now I'm going to move on to Prince William and Catherine. I'm going to move on to see if what kind of regrets they have. And I'm using the planetary layout. It's very simple but profound, I'm finding. And right to the point. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It seems to be really vibing. So I'm going to stick with it. And you seem to be enjoying this layout as well. So just reminder, Moon, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Saturn is easy to remember because of the rings. The ring around Saturn is also the ring on there. And of course, the Sun is easy to remember. Venus is easy to remember. The symbology is right there. Mars blow stuff up. Mars people. All right. Prince William. According to the planets, according to the cards, what does Prince William regret? According to the planets, according to the cards, what does Prince William regret? According to the planets, according to the cards, what are Prince William's regrets? Okay, cards are ready. Oh, Two of Cups on the Moon. Well, Harry had that as well. The Fool on the Magician, which is Mercury. 9 of Cups on Venus. The Empress on the Sun. 5 of Wands on Mars. King of Cups on the Jupiter. And on Saturn is 9 of Pentacles. Underlying Ace of Cups. Love. Interesting. All right, this is fascinating actually, because on emotions and whatnot on the Moon here, Harry also had the 2 of Cups. And now I'm wondering if they regret what has happened to their relationship. For Harry's, it was more to do with a loss of his soulmate. He regrets he never connected with his soulmate. He had a lot to do with love in his reading. But here we have the 2 of Cups. I'm thinking now that they both regret what has happened to their relationship. Because I believe that William is with his soulmate. So I don't think there's any regrets about that. I think this is regrets about what's happened with him and Harry. And now I'm going back to Harry's reading as well. So there must be some regrets about how the 2 brothers have ended up. Under Mercury, we have the Fool. I think that some of the regrets that William has is that perhaps he didn't start things sooner, right? Because the Fool is innocence. It's a beginning. It's maybe some regrets that he doesn't have the innocence that some people have. That what was expected of him his whole life. There might be some regrets that he wasn't allowed to have his own beginnings. Like perhaps he wanted to be a helicopter pilot for the rest of his life, or a pilot, or, some other kind of trade or profession. And I think when we get that on Mercury here, I think there's some regrets that he was not allowed to go his own way, to do his own thing, to have a fresh start in life. Like he doesn't know what that feels like. He has been told what he is from the day he was born. He doesn't know what it feels like to, be excited, about going towards a career and choosing that yourself and something that you really want to do. And I think we have these regrets here that he was never afforded to go out on his own and do things on his own and try and maybe fail at some things as well. I think there's some regrets there under Mercury that, he wasn't allowed to maybe move into a trade or study things that he wanted to study. All right, under the Empress, we have 9 of Cups. And of course, this is love and partnerships. And, I think he's got his wish. I think his regrets, though, is because we on the Empress here, and we're talking about regrets, partnerships, and love. I think he may regret how much he has protected Catherine. Like, you think this person here is protecting all the awards and whatnot, and also hiding some stuff. See, the curtain is closed. We don't know what's behind that curtain. And so he might have some regrets how he has protected Catherine, in a sense, how he's protected his partnerships, how he's protected his family. And that one reading we did, we had William directs Catherine quite a bit and, protects and tries to show her the way and whatnot. And I think he regrets doing some of that. For example, maybe William was the one who said we aren't announcing what cancer you have. I did that reading earlier in the year that William didn't want the media circus and whatnot. And then Catherine went ahead and did her own picture, that own photo, and got into trouble. And so I think he regrets, in some respects, protecting her from some of that. And, I really get a feeling that William really, like, you can protect your family in a very masculine way, be the protector of the family, the provider of the family. I think William goes a little step further than that and has a bit of control on top of that. And I think he's kind of regretting doing some of that stuff. On his love and partnerships. Now, this is interesting too. On the Sun is the Empress. I think what he regrets is the Empress would be his grandmother and his mother in some respects, because his mother also, if she was alive, she would be the Empress right now, because she's the mother of the future monarch. But currently we have no Empress after Queen Elizabeth passed away. And so this could be his mother and his grandmother. So maybe he has some regrets that he didn't learn a little bit more from them, or didn't spend enough time with them, because it's on the Sun. So that would be like as a child. So, he regrets he didn't have his mother longer. He perhaps regrets maybe some of the parts where, his mother and his grandmother were at odds. I mean, let's be honest. Maybe he regrets being caught in the middle of that between the two empresses. But there's something here he regrets as a child, that he did not spend more time with them or learn more from them. Now, under his Mars, he regrets some of the struggles and fights that he has had, some of the arguments and struggles, and perhaps he's regretting that maybe they went too far, and I think that this is really interesting, because he has every one of the players on in his regrets, whereas some of them just only have one or two. He regrets some of the struggles that he has had. I'm thinking that he has quiet struggles. We don't hear from William whining about things. We don't hear, he doesn't publicly display. And I go back to this, he's very much in control of things. So he may be regretting how much in control he actually is with things, about how, I'm not going to say he rules with an iron fist, But I think he's just so terrified what could happen to his family. Like, I think he's terrified that he's already lost one person in his life, very important. And so I'm getting the feeling that if he clings to these people, like if he can control the situation, he feels safer. And I think he's regretting some of the things that he's argued about, that he's struggled with. I think he regrets on his Mars here with his struggles, maybe not looking after some of the struggles that he had. And maybe they're still lingering, but it's the way he's dealing with it. This is super interesting. The King of Cups, which of course is his father, on luck and fortune. And I think, I think part of what he regrets is for him to become king, he has to lose his father. And he just saw what that did to his father when his father lost his mother and then became king. I felt so bad for the royal family. I honestly did. They just lost their mother, grandmother, and here they have to perform. Not just for one day, for 3 days, for 4 days, and, get up and get dressed and, be in public and, stiff upper lip and all of that. Whereas, we have the luxury, talk about feeling wealthy, we have the luxury of staying in our pajamas and crying all day and eating ice cream and wallowing in our grief, whereas they didn't have that luxury. So I think here under his luck and money, there is some regretful that everything he has is based on the death of someone he loves. And I think that's a huge, huge line that's running through his life. Everything he has is based on losing someone he loves. And then his son in turn will also, it's interesting, we have 3 Kings of Cups in a row and everything happens in threes. And then his son in turn is going to have to deal with the same thing as he did. The pain and whatnot. And that's one thing, as parents, we do not want our children to feel any kind of pain at any time. Especially, especially if you watch your children as teenagers go through boyfriends and girlfriends and breakups, and you'd see them cry and you couldn't do anything for them, or something, just even something like that. I think he's pretty stoic about it, but I think that's one of his regrets, that for him to advance in his life, he has to lose someone to death. Now, under Saturn, we have Catherine, the Nine of Pentacles here, the successful woman who leisurely time, and this is under burdens. And I don't want to say that Catherine is a burden. I think right now he's carrying that burden of having a wife who is not completely well. I mean, he took time off of work, and he can't wait for her to stand up and be self-sufficient again. So I think that right now it's the self-sufficiency that has been somewhat of a burden on him. Work and burden. Well, yeah, that's three young children, running them to school, and I'm sure, of course he has help, but when you aren't used to it, when you're used to mom being there, and I believe they're hands-on parents, you can tell how much the children love them and want to hug them and be with them, and I think they're really hands-on parents. And for William to do the double duty, even if you have help and even if you don't have to cook, it's still exhausting. 3 young children can be exhausting. Do you have your schoolwork ready and blah, blah, and of course they have nannies and whatnot, but there's still a amount of parenting that you need to take on. Plus you're looking after your wife. So I think here the burden is until Catherine is self-sufficient again, which I believe she will be very soon. We read that this summer, that by September we will probably see her come back part-time. I find this interesting now that we've done the reading. Ace of Cups, love is a burden to him. Maybe he's learned that people don't love too much because they'll leave you one day. You know, and that could be part of his struggle here. And that could be part of his burden too, is being so scared that he's going to lose her, that he can't wait for until she's well and self-sufficient and back to herself again. But look at the females in his life. The strong female energy we have here. The 3 pillars are connections and love. So there's William's regrets. Next, I'm going to do Catherine's. This was actually quite surprising. I thought we'd see more about Harry, but I think, you know, we have struggles here, and I think he does miss his brother a lot, and I can understand that. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please take good care. See you on the next one. Bye for now.